Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon in other parts of the world. This is Calvin Mosiooa coming from you live on a Zoom recording while in South Africa, Johannesburg. This is our third installment of our Friday chats where we chat about anything on passive. It's a relaxed, cool, very nice atmosphere we're having here with our co-founders, with our guests. If there are any guests, we welcome you to our webinars. Guys, ONPASSIVE is on fire. We have been saying this, I have been saying this since I joined the movement on the 13th of November 2020. I'm going on my 10th month now. I have been so excited about the opportunity. I'm sitting here, I'm chatting to leaders. You know, the more I sit, the more I chat, the more I attend webinars, the more I hear other people speak about ONPASSIVE, the more excited I become. We had an awesome meeting yesterday we had with our CEO. ONPASSIVE is just going to shake the internet. With me is Lerato Shadare, our South African born singer, producer, gospel singer, conductor, who is now based in Germany. Lerato, say hello to the audience, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I was just trying to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here. Like Calvin said, it's so exciting to be part of this wonderful and dynamic company. I'm just so excited, especially after the meeting yesterday. And when Ash was talking, I was just on fire. It was such a wonderful meeting. It was just, wow. So I'm so excited to be here today. I'm excited to speak to you. I can't be with you long, but I'm excited to be here and to speak to you and to know that we are all on the same wavelength. We are all on the same wavelength and we want the same things. We want success. We want to develop our communities. We want to make a difference. So I'm just excited to be amongst all this royalty because I believe everybody here is royalty. So I'm so grateful and I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lerato, our very own, who just wrote an ONPASSIVE song for us titled In It to Win It for ONPASSIVE. What a beautiful song, what a beautiful voice. We are so honored to have you as our founder in ONPASSIVE. We know that great things are still coming and our records are going to be broken. You know, guys, with ONPASSIVE, there's just not enough to say. You know, you never know what to say. You know, excitement just takes over. Today, we're going to be chatting about one of our products. It's called OBless. OBless, we know that is a product that is made, you know, that resembles ONPASSIVE, who we are. It's a product that is going to be giving to people, changing communities, you know, touching human lives. Today, we're going to talk about that. You know, each and every one of us will be sharing how they intend to use this amazing product to change communities where they are, you know, to uplift other people. It's always a pleasure in the house to have one of our leadership council members. She's our African leader. She's our queen. She's leading us here in South Africa, in Africa. Her name is Marina Favit. It is always a pleasure to sit with her. She's a leader who's always giving of her time. Her knowledge of the business is just unbelievable. And she's just prepared to share at any given moment. Leader Marina, can you just say hi to the audience, please?
Hello, Africa. Hello, world. Thank you, Lerato and Calvin, for having me on the Zoom. I really appreciate it. You know, we as founders, if you're not a founder, we encourage you to join as a founder, because not only are we part of a unicorn company, and a unicorn company is a company that achieves in excess of $1 billion turnover in their first 10 years of doing something that has never been done before. And it's usually a startup tech company. Now, ONPASSIVE is already worth $5.5 billion US, and we are growing by the day, by about 3,000 founders a day that are joining us. And we're already well over 900,000 founding members who have seen the vision. So in order to be a founder with ONPASSIVE, you need to have a vision. And, you know, when I joined, I was not a visionary, but I've become a visionary because of the dynamic way ONPASSIVE is being handled and the way it's done. Our CEO has got a heart for humanity and he wants to create 1 million Mother Teresa's, is what his words were. So as founders, he said he cannot do it on his own. He wants us as founders to help him fulfill his dream, and that is to help to contribute by turning poverty into prosperity. And that is what we're going to discuss tonight. One of our products in our portfolio of products, we already have over 50 digital products, tools, and services, and we'll keep on growing. So it's not a set number. We don't know what that number is, because ONPASSIVE is forever learning, forever designing and creating. We've got a wonderful team, 800 staff strong at the moment, but hiring weekly and daily, literally, and expanding throughout the world. We are a global company. It's not just for South Africans, for anyone that might think. It's just us as South Africans, or roots in South Africa, decided to, come together to discuss the opportunity that it has for people across the world. Anyone who's struggling, anyone who's looking for that break, that one thing that is going to change their lives. ONPASSIVE is that answer to your prayer. And we just encourage everybody to, that's another wonderful thing with ONPASSIVE. You don't need to invite other people to be successful. Your success is guaranteed. And we just share this opportunity because we don't want our friends and family and colleagues and neighbors, to be left behind. We want them to succeed as well. And it's literally extremely low risk and exceptionally high reward, because you only pay twice with ONPASSIVE. Once as a founder to secure your position for, I always say $102, because most of us use debit or credit card, or it's $97 if you're paying by Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin. But we always encourage you to, just go ahead, pay the $5 admin fee, and your access is immediate. We have got people from all walks of life joining ONPASSIVE and seeing the vision. So it's very, very exciting. And then once you've paid that to become a founder, be part of this community of like-minded people. This is a family. There's no religion, race, or creed that comes into play with ONPASSIVE. It's the first time I have ever experienced that in business. And that's why you see all different colors, all different languages, and we all got the same heartbeat. We're beating as one. Then when we launch, and it looks like we're on track to launch in 2021, if it takes a little bit longer, then early 2022. But before that, we are going into our beta, we're already in beta testing because our staff is already testing a lot of the products. But in our semi-launch, which is happening very soon, in the next couple of weeks, literally next few weeks, and then we as founders get to test the products. And one of those products is going to be Oh Bless. And we get so excited about it. And then when we launch, once our CEO and tech team is happy with everything, we will then all be required to become customers and resellers of the products. And we pay a one-time fee of between $200 and $300. It's a subscription-based business, but that one-time fee will cover you, and you will have access to all the products now until forever. One thing with ONPASSIVE is it's generational wealth. You will be able to leave a legacy for your loved ones as well. You'll be able to create family wealth because your success is guaranteed. And the lovely part about all this is, even though it's a subscription-based business, and that's why it's so perfect for anyone who's really struggling. Yes, initially it's a struggle to get that money together to pay for your founding member position, especially since we've come through COVID-19, which has just thrown our worlds upside down. But everybody realized they need to do something online. And what is there? There are so many scammers out there, so many opportunities, some great ones, some not so great. But the thing is, are you able to earn residual income without doing a thing with those businesses? It's never been done before. ONPASSIVE is doing that. And over and above that, what's so fantastic about it is that subscription, you only pay once out of pocket, and the subscriptions going forward comes out of our pocket. Out of our profit, sorry, never out of pocket. So because of the AI marketing campaigns that they're doing, ONPASSIVE is driven, all their products are driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning technology. And they've designed a system where as you're earning commission, the first sort of 3 customers under you, so if the 3 customers could be 3 team members, 3 family members, you could buy extra positions under yourself. It all depends on how much you can afford and what your situation is like, but all you need is 1 position. And then going forward, your subscription comes out of profit from the commissions earned that the company generates and places customers under us. Now, I just wanted to give an overview. The products that we have is everything that ONPASSIVE that you would need. ONPASSIVE has created every tool that you could possibly need to be a success in business, online or offline. And if you don't have a business, this is your primary business. If you do have a business, ONPASSIVE will help you take your current business to astonishing new heights, because they understand algorithms and they understand views and how to get lead generation. But they are going to do all of that for us. We also get our own website and domain. It's just fantastic. So just think about it. You're all in with ONPASSIVE for around about $350, give or take a few dollars either way. And that's it. You never, ever have to go into your pocket again. And this will create commission, which is residual. So whatever you earned last month, you'll earn more because they're adding more customers under us. And we're just going to grow and grow and grow. And as God says in his word, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And this is how ONPASSIVE will help you do just that. So thank you. Over to Calvin. You can go ahead. Thank you.
That is awesome, Leader Marina. You know, I always say this, that, you know, as human beings, we all have our different talents. We all have some things that we are passionate about. And also, there are also those hidden talents that we do not know that we have. All it takes is for something to come up. You know, it may be once in a while, once in a lifetime, but I truly believe that, you know, God knows what your talents are, even those that are hidden. And then somewhere, somehow along the way, something will come, you know, along your ways, you will come across something. And all paths will always lead you to find one thing that you're passionate about. And for so many of us, I truly, truly believe that ONPASSIVE has been that. We have so many people in this company who are so passionate. I mean, you could see that, you know, it doesn't take a yes or no answer when someone asks a question about ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE is just this giant, you know, that you cannot just sum up in a way to a sentence or two. So when you talk about ONPASSIVE, you know, you really find yourself, you know, covering everything that is ONPASSIVE. We can never really finish when talking about ONPASSIVE. And then Marina, our leader, you know, I want to repeat this and say it from the bottom of the heart, that we are so fortunate to have you as South Africans. We are so fortunate to have you as South Africans. The passion that you have about ONPASSIVE, the knowledge that you have. You know, I was speaking to Leader Redfern the other day. He was telling me that, you know, he himself, he has got no IT background, no technology background. He's a chef by profession, you know. But, you know, he has become this gentleman who is our question and A expert at ONPASSIVE. He knows all it is to know about ONPASSIVE. That's a testimony right there that, you know, that certain people with their talents, ONPASSIVE came along and, you know, it just found those talents about them. And my leader, you are just one of those people. We love you so much. Leader Rose Mutabi, you are in the house. Leader Rose Mutabi is one of those ladies, one of those women that we love so much in South Africa. She does so much for us in our WhatsApp groups, in our Telegram groups. She shares information, and everything that she comes across, she makes it a point that each and every finder must find out, because we do understand that in our groups, we have elderly people. Some of them still don't understand how to use these WhatsApps and all these Telegrams. So Mama Rose will always try to simplify and all these important messages and just put them across so that everybody knows. Well, we love you, Mama Rose. Say hi to the audience.
Hello, everyone, all the founders from other parts of the world. And we are so grateful to have you this evening. And, I never thought I would be able to talk because I just extracted 2 teeth from my sets. And but at least I can be able to talk, even though my upper part and my lower part are still numb. But I want to say to you, all of you, that we are at the right place with the right people at the right time. And, ONPASSIVE, when you look at what ONPASSIVE has done for us and is still going to do for us, one, cannot be able to comprehend all this. And to think of our leadership council who fought, fearlessly and to be right in the front of all of us to assist our CEO. We are so grateful to have, icons like them. And we are saying to all those, all of you who are still hanging, along the fence, to say, come join us, because once this train, has left, it will never come back again. I think this is the last trip of this train to collect other founders left behind. So come join us. As you can see, that whoever is trying his or her level best to share about this beautiful, beautiful, opportunity, he is saying this. We are saying this from bottom of our hearts. That shows, the passion we have, about this beautiful company, ONPASSIVE. Come join us. It is never late for now. But when you start scratching your skull, asking yourself irrelevant questions, that is this a scam company or what, you are wasting your time and you will lose big time. So come join us. Back to you, Brother Calvin. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Leader Rose. There you have it. Once again, the testimony and the example of the passion and commitment that our leaders have. I mean, I was speaking to my leader earlier. She was telling me that she is going to have her teeth extracted. And then she's sitting in the meeting now, no matter how uncomfortable she is about making a speech. But that's a passion that you see in our leaders in ONPASSIVE. And then we'll be doing all this, and we're sharing our time, our resources. And we always say this, there is no form or sort of compensation. These are people who are doing this out of love, people who are doing this out of seeing the opportunity and how it can change lives. And then we try to do this with real people, showing that this company is by real people, for real people who really, really have embraced the vision that our CEO has brought forward and are willing to share as far afield as they can. One of our products we have in ONPASSIVE is called OBless. OBless is our answer to crowdfunding. This is a platform that our CEO created in line with our vision of ONPASSIVE. We are givers, we love humanity. We will take care of each other. We should uplift one another. There is no brother who should watch another brother suffering, no sister who should watch another sister suffering. Churches out there, they need funds. We know how difficult it is. Some of our churches, even their own pastors, have to use money from their own pockets. And most of our pastors are not even employed themselves. So here's a platform that can be used, that as ONPASSIVE people, we can take and run with and change, really, really use it to change our communities. So, and once again, we are so fortunate to have Leader Marina, who has done a series of these overviews about these products we have at ONPASSIVE. I do not think that there's anyone other than her best qualified to start us off, and then just sort of break it down to us. What is OBless? How is it going to be used? How are us as all founders going to be using this amazing platform and product to change humanity and touch lives, so that people will know that, ONPASSIVE is here and there is so much difference that has been made. Lerato, my leader, Just before I go over to Marina, are you still going to be leaving us? You're going to a music class?
I think Lorato's already left us.
Oh, it's left. Okay. Okay, thank you. Then it's over to you, Leader Marina. It's over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, oh bless, Calvin, it really is a blessing. And that's why this company is so different to any other company that I've been with before. And I'm sure a lot of those who are founders can vouch for that. Now, what is so fantastic about Oh Bless? Well, firstly, with ONPASSIVE, whatever your financial goal is, whatever it is, know that that will be sorted. Our CEO gave us that promise. I remember in a webinar, he once said to us, what is your financial goal? Think, reach for the stars a little, dream a little. What would you like to earn every month where you can say, I'm sorted, I'm okay, I've got the house that I want, I've got the car that I want to drive, my children have got the best education, whatever it is, whatever your desire is, I'm able to travel, I'm able to help my charity, whatever the case is. What is that figure? And I thought, now in South Africa, there's a lot of people from South Africa, but there's also people abroad on here. And I thought to myself, okay, if I could earn 200,000 Rand a month, that will put me in a position where I'm like, I've arrived, that's it. That's awesome. It's a great income. And I thought, I don't want to be greedy. I've always had limiting mindset, a limiting belief. Then he said, double it. And I'm like, what? I can't even imagine earning 400,000 Rand a month. Then he said, double it again. And I'm like, what? 1.2 million Rand a month. Now, we are talking dollars. So now imagine if that figure was dollars, $200,000, $400,000, $1.2 million. That is what we're talking about here. That's the kind of money that we're going to be able to earn in the long run, okay? So just keep that in mind. Then he said, right, sorry, I've got something in my mouth. Then he said, what? There is going to be excess. And I think all of you can, just that little example that I gave you with my figure, your figure might be double mine. It might be half of mine. It might be a fraction of it, whatever it is, because everyone's on a different journey. So whatever figure you have, know that that's a done deal. Plus, he said, there will be excess and abundance. He uses those words, which I love, abundance. God speaks about abundance. And there will be abundance and excess. And he said, now what? How many cars could you have? How many houses could you possibly own? How many holidays can you actually go on? Once your children, the education is paid, what else is there? Whatever you want, fill your tank. They say charity starts at home, which is true. We're always going to make sure that we are set, and there's nothing wrong with us wanting more. Don't feel guilty because you want a mansion. Don't feel guilty because all your life you've worked your whole life and you just wanted to drive a sports car, a Ferrari, Maserati, whatever your choice is, a classic car. I want to get a classic car. I wouldn't mind. I'm 53 years old. I've worked since I was 16 without a day off. I think that, yes, finally, I would deserve to get those things that I've always longed for, but never thought I would ever get there. So whatever it is you want, that's fine. If you want a yacht, you'll be able to get it. If you want your own plane, you'll be able to get that as well. But then what? And that is where Oh Bless comes into play. I've been discussing with a few of the leaders in South Africa, team members as well. And we're saying, what are we going to do? So it's all this talk about, yes, we can go out and help humanity. We're going to help our community. But have you put it into action? Have you actually started working on it? Because it's all in the air. I want to do this. I was the same. I had like an idea of, I'd like to do this. I want to be more hands-on there. But you cannot, everything is just a wish until you put a plan in motion. Then it becomes achievable. And that is what we are doing now with Reggie and Theo. We've had a few meeting, and we have just ongoing discussions. We're starting our own NGO because there's obviously things that you need to put in place to get these, to get your your wish off the ground. So that is what we've done. And it's not expensive to start up an NGO, but that's part of the process. And then what are we going to do with that? So, you know, you contribute towards that. So that is one way of doing it. The other thing with Oh Bless, when we are in our semi-launch, we are going to be able to, as I mentioned, test some of the products. And Oh Bless is going to be one of those products that we can test. So with the founders alone, if you think about it, we're going to be close. I mean, we're going to be heading for 1 million, I'm sure, this month or early next month, we would have hit 1 million. There's a 3,000 about founders joining on a daily basis. So just let's work on 1 million. So we've got 1 million founders, and we start putting these causes that, you know, people need help. This orphanage, that charity, this old age home, this great cause. So whatever idea you have, there's a lot of founders with big ideas where they're wanting to create a whole community lifestyle change. You know, whatever your heart is, if it's for animals, that's fine, you do that. And then we as founders you'll be able to get all those views from the founders alone to contribute to your cause. And that is why I believe it's good to come together, not because there's so many great ideas, but I always believe that teamwork makes the dream work. And if you have got a foundation, a cause, or an idea, come together, let's put our heads together and say, right, this is my plan. And then we go in it together. We are in it to win it together. And that is what, where I think Oh Bless is going to really help those causes that you have been struggling with, the charities that you've been working, you know, day and night, every day, trying to get people to join, to buy into it, to donate, to give. I did a little exercise because, you know, it's all these things like, okay, so how much is it going to be? And Theo and Reggie actually brought it to my attention. So they're pastors, and they go to this community in Johannesburg, and they said they feel so bad because every time they go, it feels like they need to go with so many groceries because these people are living in poverty, and, you know, the way they're living. And that sort of pulled at the strings of my heart. And I thought, what would it take to help? It's not cheap, guys, because I did an exercise. And if you want to go for the basics to make sure that these families are fed for the month, you're looking at about 4,500 Rand just to get them the bare necessities for 50 people. That's 4,500 Rand a month. I don't have that kind of money right now. I don't know how many of you do. But then, so that's, okay, that's a once-off, right? So that they get everything. They get their staples, they get a bit of protein, they get their maize and, you know, some millies or rice, potatoes, veggies, whatever it is, you know, your staples and a few toiletries. But that's a minimum of 4,500 just to feed 50 families. That's not enough. Now, with Oh Bless, you bring that community to the forefront. I'm just using that as an example because that's something we're working on. You can't, I just feel terrible if I say, okay, I'll give for this month, but then next month, sorry, my interest is elsewhere and I'm not going to take that money and I'm going to spend it on someone else. Yes, it's great because you're helping people, but is it really going to be helping them if you help them once? So we're talking about how can we empower them as well. And those are the ways that you need to say, right, this is what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to help, yes, but it's one thing, like Charles Assange said, and so many other leaders as well, great leaders around the world, that say, teach a man how to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. Give the man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. So that is something else that we need to keep in the back of mind. It's wonderful to help, but if you're going to keep on helping, and you know, God also says, don't throw your pearls among swines, which means think about who you're giving your money to. Who are they going to make that money work for them, or are they just going to feel entitled that they never have to work again and you're just going to keep on giving? The other thing is to, if you are in a position, is rather get them a position as a founder in ONPASSIVE, and that will definitely help them. So that's just the basis of where I'm at, and I'm hoping that it will trigger, get you guys to think a little bit of what am I going to do with the excess? What are your plans? Put it into play, and then you will have all those founders will be able to create a foundation, a cause, a charity, whatever. We'll be able to create our own event, if you would call it, on that, and then get other founders who say, hey, I like where that's going. I want to contribute there. Now, can you imagine how quickly you will be able to raise funds? I know that Mama Sayo, she's very involved in the old age homes and, the elderly community and charities and that. So someone like her is a wonderful leader in ONPASSIVE. She's in her 70s, just like Ellen, but she wants to learn. She's in her 70s, but she's learning about technology. And she also has got these charities that she's very, very involved in. And it's been a struggle to raise funds. Now, someone like her brings that to all the founders in ONPASSIVE, and believe me, finally, her wishes will already start coming true, because people will know about it all of a sudden. They believe us as founders because everyone who's a founder has been vetted, and we know that it's not a scammer that you're dealing with. ONPASSIVE is attracting these people who have a heart for humanity, and that is how we are going to now help turn poverty into prosperity by empowering people, giving them the hope again that they need. Thanks, Calvin. We can ask a few questions or whatever, but that's all I have for now.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Leader Marina. I like the point you made that it will be good for our communities if we come together, and work as teams, because some people, and as much as we would like to empower them and then give them this opportunity to become founders, and then so some people are just not good at making things work on their own, and then when we come together as teams, in my mind, something that, oh bless, it can really be huge if we can come together as South Africans and saying, here is a group of South Africans who are ONPASSIVE members. They want to use this absolutely incredible tool called OBLESS, there's so much that can be done in our communities. Like I'm saying, some people on their own, they're just not good at making things work. So, they are just, maybe we need to sit down about these things and see how we can come together in our communities, and then see. And it's a good thing that you raised about Theo and Reggie, because I know also, Theo and Reggie, they are pastors. I know we've spoken about it with Reggie, about the communities where they have these churches. The poverty there is just heartbreaking. So as pastors, they can be given a tool that can reach out to these communities. Surely we need to sit down about it and form some sort of a structures and have something structured. It's absolutely incredible. Leader Marina, what I'm going to ask you to do now, because usually just as assistant, just checking for us who's got their hands raised. I see Mr. Alan has got his hands raised. So if I can just give it to you, Leader Marina, anybody who's got a hand raised, if they wanna, like just one thing that we want to make clear again, just to appeal, we don't here to be taking questions and asking. We're just here to be chatting about OBLESS. What can you use OBLESS to change around in the community? What's your idea, sort of, that's what we're trying to achieve on this meeting today. Over to you, Leader Marina. You can just see for us who's got their hands raised, and we can just take it from there.
Thank you. Alan has got his hand raised. We'll go next. But for those of you who are uncertain, if you're wanting to, put your input forward, there's a little icon at the bottom of your screen. It says reactions, and then it says raise hand. So it will show that your hand is raised like that, which means I want to speak. And then we will ask you to unmute yourself and ask your question. All right. Thanks, Alan. Go for it. Alan from Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful day today, a bit windy, but nice the sunshine. It's one of the things that with this, I think that getting the communities to build or to develop gardens or food gardens in their is very good. I think that's one way of it could possibly alleviate poverty in communities where they actually grow their own vegetables and this type of thing. That's one of the ideas I've got. The other thing is that I listened to that recording with Suzanne Duveau last week that she had. And she said this week they're having one on charities, and they've got a lady from England who's involved with 3 charities, and she may put up a sort of video about the charity. So that may be something to look forward to. I think they're on a Monday night. I'm not sure exactly when the webinar is.
It's after when we have our private founders only meeting. That's normally at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that normally goes on until about midnight for us. So it's about 4 hours long, and then they have theirs an hour after that in Canada.
I know it's at 7 o'clock. Yeah, James and Suzanne, yeah. And this week it's on charities. This is why it's just falling together with what we're doing with our Bless. But I think the food gardens would be a great idea for the various communities. And that way they can grow their own food. Okay, you can help them set it up and give the initial money to start it. The other thing is, if you ask with the Bless, if you put it into the community and you ask every founder to give $1, everybody, and if you get 50% of them giving, you've got $50 million. No, $500,000.
Yeah, the math always sounds great. I remember watching years ago where somebody was, that's how it all started. It wasn't a charity. This woman just sent out, I think it was an email or she made a post, but it was years ago, so I can't remember the details. And she was saying, look here, I'm in trouble. I was a big spender. I've maxed out all my credit cards. I'm in debt. I'm a single mom. I don't know what I've done. I need help. If everybody could just give me $1, it would help. And believe she made news. She became a millionaire literally within a week because of all the people contributing $1. And obviously from there, people thought, oh, this is a great way. And imagine. So yes, I'm just saying that worked for her because she was the first one with that idea that actually took the courage to go out and ask for money. But it wasn't even for a charity. It was to get herself out of debt, which was like, what? Yeah. And now she's a millionaire. And she's probably spent it all again because she's a shopper. Yeah. But yes, something like that. And then I actually love that initiative where you get the communities involved. When I went to on holiday, we did a road trip. We hired a camper van and we went on the road for 3 weeks. And we went through all these, like right up to Transkei. We went through 8 different provinces and we saw the different communities and how these children, but they all seem so happy. You know, they're living in poverty, but they seem so happy. But obviously that's all they knew. But what one of the foundations did, because I was driving up towards the south coast and I was just amazed at all the beautiful trees. There were just trees and trees and trees and trees, all these indigenous trees. And I said, I've never seen so many trees in my life. And then when we got to St. Lucia, they were telling us that there's an initiative. What they do with the communities, with the children and that, is they say, if you plant a tree, because a lot of them, you know, they had space to plant a little tree to this size, then they collect it and they plant it in the well or wherever the grounds are. But for every 5 trees they plant, they will donate a bicycle to the family, for the children to ride in. And this really got these children into planting trees and helping their friends to plant their trees and nurture them until they were a certain height, you know, in order for them to replant it. And that, I thought that was fantastic, to give them a bicycle for every 5 trees, you know, so it got the children involved into planting and growing. Now you could definitely do the same sort of thing with the vegetables and teaching them how to you know, to grow veggies and what have you. But that's just something I'm sharing with you because I thought that was great. It gets the children involved and excites them because they want a bicycle. A lot of these movies that I watch, like on Netflix or on YouTube, I'll come across something where these little kids, all they really want is either like a skateboard or bicycle or shoes or a school uniform with shoes. You know, that's they're not asking for much. To them, you give them a school uniform with shoes, they are so proud because now they've arrived, that now they're not that poor child anymore, you know, without shoes. And there are so many of those around. So going into schools is my idea as well, is to incentivize the children, you know, give them something that's going to help them develop themselves, grow themselves, help their families as well. Like you said, Alan, grow a veggie garden and you have a competition. And then, you know, every year or whatever you say, you're going to get, incentivize them with the bicycle, with the school uniform. And then as you go along, maybe it increases to a cell phone or an iPad or whatever, things that they would not normally have. But that is more of a hands-on getting involved, saying that's my project. But that is why we're having this meeting tonight, is we want to hear from you. What ideas do you have that you think would work, you know? And it's not that we obviously talking because we're in South Africa, but there's a lot from Ireland, from the UK, from America, from I see you guys are all over here, from India as well. So what is it that you guys are wanting to do? Please raise your hand. We would love to hear from you.
Another thing is possibly to start a veggie garden at the schools, and let the children nurture that. So then they've got their lunch for school, whatever they get, make their food from the veggie garden for the school.
See, these are things that we need to start putting into place, because we know Bless is available to us as founders to use. We need to start saying, what is it that I'm actually going to ask for? What is it that I'm going to put my energy into and help? You know, everybody knows there's so many charities and it's like a little bit overwhelming. Where do you start? But start in your community. Start in, you know, your area that you live in. That's where you start. Speak to your neighbors. I mean, those of you who are more in touch, we don't even know what our neighbors' names are anymore. You know, those that are living in informal settlements and that, you guys are a community. You know who's who. You know, you guys speak to each other. We just feel like we're living in this concrete jungle where you got to just keep yourself locked in and don't speak to anybody. So we need to get out there.
The other thing is to supply like books and pens and pencils and this type of thing for the schools, stationery and that type of thing. One of the other organizations they had a charity where they actually went to the school and they actually bought stationery with their own logo on it. But I mean, we can do that also if we want to. It was on passive. If we want to, we can have stationery, you know, or even if you just go buy 100 books or 1,000 books and go to the school and say, here's exercise books, whatever you need, you know, type of thing. One of the other suggestions that came up, if you go into a poor area, you say all the shopping for a week or for the month, or you'll pay for that. So they can go buy their food. Another idea.
Definitely. No, there are some really great ideas there. And I'm not sure if Calvin is he's nodding there. I wasn't sure if you agree or you're singing a song.
I'm just nodding to what Leader Alan is saying. The one thing that I wanted to say was that, you know, for me also, the idea of schools, you know, I mean, children spend the greater part of their days at school, you know, from 8 to 2. So, you know, that is a place where they're supposed to be happiest. And then, I mean, I know how bad it is. There's a project that I'm doing myself in my community where I organize social events. And then from those funds, what do? I go to the schools and then I'll ask, because I know the government only assists them with school uniform. But now when it comes to sport equipment, you know, they must fend for themselves, they must raise funds. So, you know, our kids are, they like playing netball, soccer, whatever. And if they don't have the right equipment, you know, you'll find the child is very sad watching other children kicking a soccer ball with soccer boots and stuff like that. So, you know, at schools with those gardens, and I think that's where we can go, because children spend most of their time at school. So it's a place that they're supposed to be the happiest during the day. That's all that I wanted to say. Thanks, Leader Alan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, like a soccer ball for these youngsters, it's like their highlights, you know, soccer, basketball, whatever. In South Africa, I know they love their soccer. In other countries, they call it football. But yeah, it's just the little kids. I mean, that is really, at the end of the day, it's the kids, orphans, and elderly that my heart is at. But then you can, on top of that, there's all these other causes that I would want to donate to, like Alzheimer's. My sister passed away at a very young age from Alzheimer's. She had early onset Alzheimer's, where she got it at 48, but she lived with it for 12 years and she died at 60. But it was terrible to see that. So if I would then definitely contribute, it's not something that I can be hands-on, but there are people doing it and, you know, donating to the cause, to the development, to come up with a cure, hopefully. Same thing with cancer, and that I don't have cancer in our family, but there's a lot, you know. So all these different things that you can say, where is my heart? What pulls at my heartstrings? What can, if you're not sure, that's what you got to ask yourself. What makes me sad? When I watch a program, I listen to a story, what is it that brings a tear to my eye? That is where you've got to put your energy. That is what is going to make you make a difference. You know, I always say the most giving is the most selfish thing you can do, because it makes you feel so good. And I want to be one of the most selfish people on earth. So what is it that you look, you see, you watch a TV program or whatever, hear a story, listening to what Alan has to say, or whoever, maybe something I said, and you think, you know, that it actually almost makes you want to cry. That is where you've got to start doing your research and getting into to say, how can I make a difference? Because the abundance is coming. Where am I going to make a difference? What is going to make me do something spectacular in my life? Firstly, if that's what you were looking for on Passive, being a founder with ONPASSIVE, you are doing something spectacular because you are changing your family tree. And over and above that, you are not just in it to just make money and not do anything substantial with it. Be spectacular and get involved. Start looking at who you're going to donate to, who you're going to help. What is your role in the community to help turn poverty into prosperity? Thanks.
One of the other things that I'm passionate about are the disabled or handicapped children that are, and also cerebral palsy. I mean, that is one of them. I mean, many years ago, I used to be the line that you go fetch us, and we should take them to St. Giles for like an evening once a week or once a month. We should go out and take them in. They should, some of them, one guy was an accountant, and he said his brain stutters. That's the way he put it. He's a very nice man. Him and his wife both had cerebral palsy, but the child was normal. So, I mean, it's
things like that that makes us think about it. You know, just talking about that wasn't top of mind, but now that you've mentioned, it's like, oh gosh, yeah. So yes, we are recording this. Someone asked, is someone taking notes? No, we're not taking notes, but I am recording it. It will be on my YouTube channel a little bit later, and it will also be on the list when I send out my VIP, hello VIPs, my weekly update. It will be top of the log there. For those of you who have just joined us, I see that I have admitted a few people. We're talking about how ONPASSIVE is going to be able to bless, and any ideas that you might have of what you can do for your communities, or what ideas you've had coming in, because there is going to be excess, and what are we going to do to make the money work for us and help our communities and help our CEO by eradicating and turning poverty into prosperity across the globe. Go ahead, Rose.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you so much. I want to concur myself with all the speakers that have, added their thinking about ONPASSIVE, you know, ONPASSIVE is just an amazing company. It's just an amazing company. And, you know, for all the products that they have developed from the ground up, you know, even though OBLESS is not one of the products that have been developed from the ground up, it's just, you know, a forum whereby, you know, people from around the world will be connected, you know, with people who are capable and willing to give a helping hand, you know, and who are those people? Us as founders. And you know, how joyful we will be, you know, by giving. Giving is unbelievable, and it will increase, you know, our lifespan. And you know, OBLESS is just a game changer. You know, we grew from the communities who are, a lot of them suffering. And we even grew from those communities as, you know, looking at the things that, you know, are needed, things that are very, very important for the community to can use. And I think, you know, the OBLESS, it is here coming to us to go back to our communities and to identify those things that we can be of help to the community. So I strongly believe that OBLESS will do a fair share, and it will do an impact, you know, to our lives. It will do an impact to the communities we grew from. Thank you. Back to you, Calvin.
Whoa, thank you so much, Leader Rose. Hello, Mama Edith. Thank you so much, Leader Rose. You know, just to share one thing, you know, when Leader Marina is saying that, you know, we should all, you know, look for something that is clear, I mean, it's close and dear to our hearts, and really truly think about how we can use this amazing platform to make an impact. You know, I'm sure most, or if not all of us, know about the album that's the United States of America's artists. All 45 of them, they got together and then they recorded a song called "We Are the World." You know, it was USA for Africa. You know, when I was watching a documentary about how that song came about. You know, and it is so very inspiring. You know, Bob Geldof, he was in Kenya. And then when he came back from Kenya, he went and he spoke to Quincy Jones and he said, you know what, I come from Africa and you know, I've just seen so much poverty that it just broke my heart. Can we do something about it, you know? And then, you know, true to that, the guys got together. Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson wrote the song. Quincy Jones produced the song. And then they got together 45 artists in one room, people who, you know, who big names in 1985, who were all under this one recording studio, and they all pitched up from 8 a.m. From 8 p.m. in the evening. They recorded through to 4 a.m. the following day, and no one got paid. No one got a penny. And then they were also close to 150 technicians and camera crew, and then that's just people got together. I say, you know what, we're getting together for a cause. And that album, it went and they raised close to 149 million US dollars that they contributed with to the cause of hunger and poverty in Africa. So, you know, by the same magnitude, you know, I think as Africans, South Africans, you know, all other parts of the world, we also we presented with an opportunity that can be as potentially as huge as that. You know, we get together as Africans and identify what it is that can be done, you know, to uplift our communities and change people's lives. Because hunger is there, not only in Africa, you know, but in other parts of the world. In the Philippines, people are starving there. In India, there is just so much hunger that is going on in the world. And the beautiful thing about this OBLESS platform is that it is said that all the campaigns, you know, when you set a campaign with OBLESS, and then the X of amount you want to raise, And we know that all these other crowdfunding platforms, they keep a certain percentage for themselves. So with All Bless, our leader says, no, we don't need to keep anything, because those funds, each and every penny or dollar or euro is supposed to go to where it's needed. And that's a beautiful thing. We're having this incredible human being who's our CEO. He's giving us once again an incredible platform where we can have the opportunity to use it and truly touch people's lives in ways that we can never imagine we could have ever done. So yes, let's go out there, let's search our hearts and think what it is really that brings a tear to my eye when I look at a story, when I hear, when I look around me, what really needs to be done. All Places Day is a platform that
I don't know if it's my internet or if Calvin has frozen there. I'm going to I think he's frozen a bit there. Calvin, yeah, absolutely. You know what? I see you back now. What I want to, while you were talking, I remembered, yes, we don't have to, ONPASSIVE isn't going to take a cent to whatever donation cause or whatever that we contribute to. They're going to get 100% of that. And what I have been watching, my pastime, besides my painting and when I do play golf, when I just want to take, I always think I'm just going to take a break from ONPASSIVE because I eat, sleep and drink ONPASSIVE. But then I find myself on YouTube, and what do I watch? Or I search on Netflix because of my my history, and that's machine learning, and that's what ONPASSIVE is going to do. I watched, and I mentioned it quite a few months ago, maybe even a year ago. I encourage all of you to watch the Kindness Diaries. The Kindness Diaries was on, I think it was on Netflix. It might have been on YouTube. Just Google search it. And I promise you, this guy went from one part of the world to the other. And he had an old car or motorbike. I think the first series was with the motorbike. And all he had to live by. He was a wealthy man, okay? But he did this as an example, as a test to see, are there still good people out there? Can you live by kindness alone from strangers? And he had to get food. He couldn't ask for money. He couldn't ask for petrol. He could not ask for accommodation. It all had to be, or he could ask for it, but he couldn't pay for it. Couldn't pay for food, couldn't pay for petrol, could not pay for accommodation. And he traveled from one part of the world right to the other. It was this journey. And along the way, he met people. And you know what? The people that he met were not the rich people with money. He met people that had a heart for humanity, that said, I don't have much, but what I have is yours. I'll share my one fish that I caught today. I'll share it with you. I live in a shack, but it's clean. And wherever, you my friend now, you my brother, you can sleep here with me. And he did. He would go through the journey with them. And at the end of it, he'll meet like 3 or 4 people, and he'll decide, obviously ask God for his discernment, which of those people really needs his help, where they will make a difference. And then he will say, he'll find out, what is your wish? What is your desire? What would you like in life? And most of them didn't want anything for themselves. They just wanted to be able to help the next person. And then he would donate huge amounts of money for them to start their cause, to help their communities. And so that inspired me. That was incredible, because they didn't know that he was wealthy. And I just think about myself and all the other founders that are going to be on your travels and on your journey. And how can you, keep an eye out to help people who are going to make a difference? The other thing I love watching is The Secret Millionaire. These are people that will leave their luxurious homes and their lifestyle for a week or 9 days or 10 days, and they'll go to a community or a country or an area not too far away from them, and they would spend time living on the government pension. They have to pay their rent. They can't take any of their brand clothing, their watches. They leave their credit cards behind. They get dropped off and they get told, this is where you're going to live for the next week or so. You've got to find work, or voluntary work, and you've got to live on the government pension, and they do. And then they look at who's doing something in the community. How can they help people, you know, and how can they make a difference? And at the end of it, there's about 3 or 4 people, families or organizations that get this huge, like £20,000 or $100,000 or $10,000 or whatever the case is, where they give, and no, they feel so much gratitude because they never knew. It's like, I just thought you were voluntary, or I thought you were doing a series on voluntary, you know, people doing voluntary work, and, you know, talk about that. Meantime, they were multimillionaires or billionaires that lived in that society, in that community, working on, living on a salary, that government pension, and really realize, my gosh, there's really not much you can do with that, and how can I make a difference in these people's lives? So I love it. Please, guys, you must do yourself a favor, write it down. The Kindness Diaries, you must watch that, and The Secret Millionaire. I love it. The Secret Millionaire is in the UK and America that I've seen, and I just always look for the updates. So that's what I do when I'm not watching a webinar with ONPASSIVE or painting. I'm watching that type of program, and it really inspires me, where I think, I can't wait, because I picture myself there. And as a founder, you're going to get there, where you're going to have this abundance. What are you going to do? I was actually thinking we're going to have the ONPASSIVE Secret Millionaire show as well, you know, and us as founders going out into the world and doing that. So yeah, it's things that we've got to think about, guys. You know, where would you like to go? What, you know, a place that you've seen on the news, or you thought, oh my gosh, I really need to help there. Sorry, Alan, we will get to you. There was another lady, I think she's 80, Willow Griffith. What a wonderful old soul. And she lives in Virginia in America. And she said that, you know, God has basically told her to stay there. It's not the best environment. There's so many gangs and murders, where she actually saw a baby getting shot in a mother's arms, and you know, the distress and the gender-based violence there. And she had to make a difference. So she's bought positions for these young single mothers, and, you know, trying to keep them safe in a place that they, so that they can have a place they can call home. And, you know, it's just amazing. So I hope that these stories that you're hearing, and the things that you could do, is pulling at your heartstrings, as I say, just, you know, say, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? Do you just want to be in the background? That's also fun. Giving in secret is a huge blessing. Do you want to be hands-on? You can do all of it, you know, but start thinking, what is it that you're wanting to do? Go ahead, Alan.
Okay, one of the things that I like is the undercover boss, also, where he goes to the boss of the company, yeah, goes, and he normally finds the staff in certain branches of the different branches of the company, and there's always somebody who's outstanding there, and he helps them with the school funds, and buying them a car, or university fees, and this type of thing. That's one of the awesome ones I like as well.
Yes, that's all things like where people are wanting to help. And like the undercover boss, that is like, you know, he's this millionaire or rich dude, but he doesn't have a clue what his staff actually think of him, and he could have been a real jerk, and he comes out of that process a better person, a better boss, you know, and yeah, treats absolutely his employees so much better. I've seen that. I love those sort of things.
Another thought is also the women's shelters for the abused women and children that are abused, shelters for them. Another one that's high on my list. There's a lot of, and also the homeless. I mean, the 10 cities that we are cropping up all over the cities. I mean, here in Sea Point, we've got one that's there must be about 50 tents that have gone up near the police station, around the police station.
A tent, especially in Cape Town in winter, it's so cold and windy, and yeah, and wet. So, I mean, who wants to live in a tent? At least it's shelter, it's somebody doing something. Now, imagine bringing a community of like-minded people with ONPASSIVE and building, buying land and building like apartments, so that these people with a, we were actually discussing that Theo is going to talk next. He can touch base on what we are planning to do as well. So, you know, think out of the box. Think, instead of just giving one quick thing before we go to you, Theo, I asked my son, what is it that you want to do? You know, like, how do you want to give back? And he said, Mom, I said, where do you picture yourself in like 5-10 years time? He's 25 now. And he said, Mom, I'm driving some RX, whatever, fancy car. I don't even know what, but anyway, fancy sports car. Nothing, not a Ferrari, but an RX something. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Okay, he's driving that. He's wearing a suit because he loves wearing a suit, dressing for success. And he said, and every day he wants to have a can of like food, like tinned fish or pilchards or whatever, a loaf of bread and a 2-liter milk and a 2-liter Coke that he can give away every day. And I just smiled and I thought, you know, he's always been such a giving person. If I gave him pocket money in nursery school, he would buy something for his sister as well, and or bring me something. He would always share, and he's got that heart to help. And I said, Sykes, you have no idea what you're going to have with ONPASSIVE. You're not going to just be able to give a loaf of bread and milk and a parcel every day. You'll be able to feed a community. And he's like, Mom, if that will happen, it will make me the happiest person. He said, but is it selfish of me to want to drive a nice car? I was like, no. Why would you think that? God wants us to be prosperous. You know, it's like, yes, go ahead, but just don't change your character. When the money comes, be humble, be grateful, know that this is a blessing, and help the widows and the orphans and those less fortunate going forward, because somewhere along the way, believe me, we've all been down and out, and people have helped us get through it. Who are those people? You want to thank them. You want to help them, you know, especially get them on as a founder. And if they're not interested, just keep them in back of mind to say, I've arrived now, but yeah, thank you. I'm in a position because you helped me that one time. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be on the street. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had a place to live for a week before I found my feet again. If it wasn't for you organizing me that job, I don't know where I would be. Remember, go back in time and think about who is it that you're wanting to help and bless, even if you do it in secret, you know, which would be awesome. Thanks, Theo. Go ahead, and then we're going to go to Tefo.
Oh, thank you, Marina. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity. You have taken all my words. I have nothing to say now. I've listened to you, Ellen. I've listened to you, Rose. I've listened to Marina. I've listened to Calvin. You have said a lot of things that I had in mind, but that's not a limit. We're not limited to that only. Remember what Ash would say sometimes, not only Ash Mufa, but Charles would say that, and then many other leaders. They would always say, ONPASSIVE is not for everyone. And if you count yourself amongst those that ONPASSIVE is for, really and truly, you should be running with the vision of the same person, the same man that has introduced us to this. I believe strongly this is God's work. It's God at work, and I want to believe the hearts of the people, because I always listen and watch webinars and listen to people as they talk, and I can always tell that there is a general spirit of people who are catching the vision of giving. You know, the Bible speaks about that you get blessed so that you are a blessing to others. If we're talking, oh bless, we're talking the real heart of Ash Mufarad. And the only way that we can be sustained in this wealth that's coming is that we run with the same vision. Yes, we want to buy cars, we want to build houses, we want to do this for our families, our children. That is, you know, that is short term. How about the long term? That is the time that is coming. There is so much wealth coming. we know and we have an idea. We don't know how much, but we know I have an idea that we're all going to be multi-millionaires. Now, you spoke about NGOs. I just want to say the most important thing is to understand the purpose of OBLES, number one, and number two is also to organize ourselves. I see there's people from other parts of Africa here. I don't know how you do things in your countries, but if we register NGOs and NPOs and formalize ourselves, because if you say you're going to do this alone, you're going to get tired, you're going to burn your fingers, and there's nothing that's going to encourage you and sustain you to continue. But I believe that if we come in groups, wherever, in regions, wherever we are together, and formalize these things, everyone has got an idea, there's good ideas, dyeing shoes, and school uniform, food, garden, and all those things. We need to be ready because there is so much coming. And, you know, we're talking October when it will be announced that when is the launch is coming and so on. But we need to be ready with OBLES. We need to, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it's going to come, but I know that funding that comes that way needs to find people registered, formalized. Otherwise, I don't see it being scattered all over the founders. I think it's going to have to find us organized and registered, you know, in our companies, in our groups, so that we can able to itemize and say, these are the things we're going to do. You know, I was thinking of, for instance, the stalls, you know, the stalls, the small shops where people can sit with their items. This one is selling blankets, the other one is selling whatever, you know, all those things. If you can have areas like those. And what is important is also to begin to identify land. The only way we can help our people is to find land that can be bought, land that can be utilized, where people can come together and make business and make money, and land that can be utilized, obviously, agriculturally and so on. But my message tonight is to say, let us formalize, let us organize ourselves and get registered so that when we operate, if the governments of our countries want to come on board, I know, Ash said, we are correcting the corruption. They will want to come on board. They will want to be seen to be doing something. They will be wanting to join us. So let's be formalized, let's be registered, let's be organized. It's going to be easy to handle these things in groups like that. That's all I want to say tonight. There's so much, you know, but I know it's going to take us all night.
It's exciting, Theo. Thank you very much.
I'm getting excited because I looked at our people at church last week, Sunday. We organized some lunch for them. There was food and they came in numbers. Even those that are not members of the church, they came. Hunger is hunger, you know. They came and, you know, I was so full of tears in my eyes. I said, Lord, you see what's happening. I want you to replicate and multiply the money that is coming because there's so many people who are hungry here. But now we need to be formal. We need to be organized, bring, you know, our minds together so that we do something harmonious that we can sustain. We're not going to be haphazard. We need to be smart in what we're going to do. I thank you so much. So much.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And thank you for the work that you and Reggie are doing. It's fantastic. It's really, you know, I love that. I absolutely love it. Thank you. Tefo, you are up next.
Hello, Marina. Hello, everyone.
Oh.
Yes. You know, I've been thinking ONPASSIVE is probably the greatest blessing that I am ever going to experience in my lifetime. And through ONPASSIVE, I will probably achieve my, you know, ultimate dream. I was born in Lesotho, where people survive to a very large extent on subsistence farming. And those who can, they go on contracts, they go and work for the mines. Mining is a big thing. Working for the mines is a big thing. And those who are able to get some kind of education, I'm talking about the rural people. Those who are able to get education, they normally leave the rural area to go into urban area or even move into South Africa. And so over the years, I've seen how families have continued to suffer year in, year out, with a lot of poverty and not being able to offer their children the basic necessities of life. I've seen one small school, you know, in the village, how it just barely survives. And here is what has been going through my mind, that if I had means, I would go back home and organize that community into a cooperative. The land, my estimate there when using Google Earth, is that it's between 300 to 400 hectares. It's not much in terms of, you know, commercial farming in South Africa, but this has, you know, sustained people over many years. So organized, that land can and will be able to feed a lot of people and even supply other businesses and put crops up for sale and so forth, if properly managed. So what ONPASSIVE presents to me is possibly, as I said, to be able to buy or purchase equipment, organize the community, purchase equipment, and we'll be able to then go into proper farming and subdivide lands into viable sort of projects, not only crops, subsistence crops like maize and sorghum and all those, but we could also go into vegetables and other things, and even fruits. The government has gone in there, has encouraged people to plant fruits and whatever, but the projects never succeed because there is not sufficient funding to make sure that these projects succeed. You know, the fertilizers are always never sufficient. And so that is what I probably think I'll be able to do. But over and above that, because there will be equipment such as tractors, perhaps vehicles, you know, bakkies and all of those things, I thought it would be best if, you know, we could work with, there is an agricultural school not far from where the village is in town. We could work with those so that we could share with them, you know, so that they can actually offer practicals. We can offer students opportunities to do practicals on our land, and we will be able to also send out students for further training and even to achieve university qualifications in order to be able, on an understanding that they'll be able to come back and help the communities themselves.
That's fantastic,
That
Tefo.
is what is in the back of my mind.
Fantastic. I
Thank
absolutely
you,
love it. Thank
Marina.
you. Thank you for sharing. You know, talking about education in South Africa anyway, for those of you who are abroad, our youth are very angry, you know, and they burn the schools down. I don't know if you have that across the other countries and that, but I don't understand, you know, I can't comprehend why are they burning the schools down. Also, when there was the looting, they they damaged their own community shopping centers. They never went out of their communities. They, looted at their own community. So I do believe that education is key. They do it for lack of education, Now, if you take those people who are causing destruction, I don't even think they know why, really, to get them to understand, treasure, value what you have and make it grow, don't destroy. That's also part of the academy that is going to come into play. We will be able to give education to, places where no school is required or they don't have a school, so they can have online. And then we are in a position to give them the network service that they need and the laptop that they might need or computer, what have you, to get the education that they so rightfully deserve. We are running out of time. We're coming to an end now. We've been going for 1.5 hours. We don't want to stretch it out too long, especially when people watch the recording. It'll be about 1.5 hours. So this will be on my YouTube channel. As I said, I'm going to share it on the back office under the High VIPs, and my weekly update. It will be top of the log because it's the last meeting that we've had. So that expect to be done in about 2 hours once this is uploaded. And you can grab the link from there, have a re-listen, share it with your team members as well. And I just hope that everyone has a blessed weekend. And things are happening. It's a beautiful spring here in Johannesburg, South Africa. It gets a bit chilly in the evening still. And, just be safe. Watch those, the kindness diaries, The Secret Millionaire. Think about what everyone spoke about today. See what you're going to get your hands on. And we will see. I don't know if Calvin is still with us. His video is off now. But I just want to thank everybody. Thank you to Lerato for her hosting this today. She had to leave earlier. Thank you to Calvin for, coming up with the initiative for having this meeting as well. And I'm just blessed to be part of it. Thank you to all of you that showed up. We have 43 people on this call today. So it's fantastic. We are still new. And we only have a max of 100 at this point, but we will increase it as the need arises. So thank you very much from me, Marina Favet from South Africa. Wish you a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Calvin, are you still with us or have you?
I'm still here, Marina.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say your goodbyes? Thank you from me.
I cannot be anywhere else. Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much for the support the initiative is getting. We need to start being able of doing things for ourselves. We need to sit down and then discuss things, come up with ideas. I like the ideas that were thrown around by the Theo. I touched on that earlier. That we should form this NGOs, become groups and teams, so we can do these things together. Because there is strength and power and unity. You give one person to do something on their own, they just might get tired, and then they just fall off the road. But if we do it together, we can achieve so much more. The ideas that came through today, and the forms idea, I like your ideas about the farming projects in native land, Lesotho. The sky is the limit. If we realize that we have this opportunity, that can give us a platform that can truly change lives. And if we can just grab it and run with it and then use OBLESS to become a shining example of what ONPASSIVE is, a shining example of what our CEO, Mr. Eshmofara, is. And then we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I thank everybody. Louis White, Toronto, from Canada, I see you, and I thank you so much. Please join us next Friday again. We'll sit in, we chat about all things ONPASSIVE, just a relaxed atmosphere where we share ideas. We hope that coming to these meetings, we can go away taking something that can, we can then grow our faith and then grow our hope and then grow our passion in this company ONPASSIVE. I thank you so much. From me, Calvin Mosiooa from Johannesburg, to everybody who was watching, everybody who was coming across the recorded webinar, ONPASSIVE is the way to go. Hope somebody who's spoken to you about ONPASSIVE, let them share with you how you can become a part of this incredible opportunity, which is a once in a lifetime, we believe. Bless your heart. God bless us all. Thank you so much. Goodbye from me to you all. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you to everybody. I see there were a few people that joined right at the end. This is recorded. It will be on my YouTube channel and also in the back office in about an hour or two. So thank you very much. Be blessed. Goodbye. Be safe. We are so in it to win it.
In it to win it. We definitely are. Bye-bye, everybody. Cheers. Good night. God bless you all.